state this season. So PSG in the mainly blue kit with red numbers on the back, white trim as well. Liverpool in their first choice colours, the red shirts with the white trim. Liverpool never beaten PSG here, just 2 matches against them in European competitions. But of course this here, the Parc des Princes, is the scene of one of Liverpool's most famous nights when they won this trophy back in 1981 against Real Madrid. So PSG with Donnarumma in goal, back 4 of Hakimi, Marquinhos, Pacho and Nuno Mendes. Then in midfield, Vitinha, Fabian Ruiz and João Neves. And then Kavica, Kvaratskhelia, the recently signed Georgian, the former Napoli man, with Ousmane Dembele, top scorer, 26 goals, and Bradley Barcola up front. And Liverpool, no Gakpo tonight, but the team is Alisson, Alexander-Arnold, Konate, Van Dijk and Robertson, Gravenberch with McAllister and Szoboszlai, Salah, Jota and Diaz. The referee is from Italy, Davide Massa. He blows his whistle, and Liverpool, to a cacophony of whistles from the stands, get this match underway. Liverpool playing from left to right in the first half, towards what you might call the River Seine end of the ground, and Liverpool winning a throw-in down the right-hand side and going all the way back to Alisson. They're coming up, Liverpool, arguably the team of the season in Europe, against possibly the best team around in terms of their run of form right now. PSG have not lost since November, 22 matches in all competitions, and they've won their last 10 in a row. But this is probably the best team that they've played for a long while, Liverpool. And likewise, as we've been saying in the build-up, Liverpool don't always play a team that is this good either, as there's a foul on Gravenberch and a free kick to Liverpool in their own right back position. We were talking, weren't we, Stephen, yesterday about, when the last time was Liverpool had played a team that will play like PSG because of the pressing that we were talking about. BBC Radio Merseyside are with us as well tonight, so welcome to you. 5 Live, BBC Sounds as well. The ball out of play, down the right, the Liverpool right, and it's a throw-in for PSG with their Portuguese left back. Nuno Mendes, who gets the ball back and runs away from Szoboszlai, and then with his left foot swings the ball out to the right-hand side. And now Kvaratskhelia into the action for the first time with his orange boots, attacking the penalty area. Then the ball to Hakimi down the right. He gets it back after the initial cross was blocked, and then in goes the challenge on him, which bounces behind Luis Diaz doing the defensive work, and it's through and behind for a goal kick to Liverpool. 0-0.
Oh, what a switch of play it was for Nuno Mendes, and it had just allowed Paris Saint-Germain to break down that right-hand side. Luis Diaz had come inside, just to almost shut off one of the balls to the centre half, and it allowed Hakimi to get across and get his overlapping run in. But credit to Luis Diaz, got back, did his duties as a winger. But they have started very quick in this game, Paris Saint-Germain.
Yeah, I was so impressed with them on that night against Manchester City. Eventually fell 2-0 down, rather unfortunate if you remember, but then the way that they came back with those 4 goals in just over half an hour to win the match and comprehensively beat City. Liverpool coming forward on the edge of the area, a little flick from Jota, almost set through Luis Diaz. It was just cut out by Marquinhos.
Yeah, lovely from Virgil van Dijk, stepping into that midfield position, winning the ball high. We said about this press of Paris Saint-Germain, but Liverpool haven't sat back, they're pressing high as well. Not afraid to go after Paris Saint-Germain.
Liverpool returning the ball all the way to the man all in yellow, their goalkeeper, Alisson, and then Andy Robertson with a touch as well, back into the penalty area. The second leg, by the way, next Tuesday at Anfield, so a quick turnaround. Liverpool have got to play Southampton on Saturday. That's our 5 Live commentary match, by the way, the 3 o'clock commentary match on Saturday afternoon, and then next Tuesday the second leg. And whatever the score is tonight, within reason, Liverpool would probably fancy their chances of turning that around. There's a long pass, is played over the top by Robertson for Luis Diaz, down into the full-back position. Luis Diaz back to Jota. Jota gets there first, left side of the box, takes on Marquinhos, who gets the block on that, and sliding, stretching, is able to volley it away before it crosses the line for a corner. It's out for a throw down the left.
Well, 2 or 3 times Liverpool now bypassed the press of Paris Saint-Germain. They want to press as high as they can. The centre-backs, the full-backs are really squeezing in. The wingers are coming short. and then the spinning in behind. It was a lovely ball from Andrew Robertson that just floated over the back of Hakimi.
One thing I thought they might do tonight, and I'm sure that Slot will have considered it, would be to play like they did at Manchester City in the Premier League a few weeks ago. Another long pass, this is for Luis Diaz. Marquinhos is underneath it, he's not sure where Luis Diaz is, he's headed it across his own penalty area, chases after it himself, and then taps it out of play with his left foot for a throw to Liverpool on this side, the right.
We said it had been a quick start from Paris Saint-Germain. Liverpool have grown into this game very, very quickly, started to dominate possession now as they come forward again.
With Gravenberch, who gets it back from Szoboszlai. He tried to work it back across the box. That was blocked. Comes back to Salah. Then back more centrally. McAllister plays it over the top. He claims that Salah was blocked by Nuno Mendes inside the penalty area. So they brought the referee's attention to that, who just sort of takes it in his stride and points to a goal kick.
A good defending from Nuno Mendes, make sure that he gets his body in between the man and the ball, doesn't allow Salah to get a run on him. What a start to this game.
Yes, I did wonder whether they might have leave Jota out and play Szoboszlai and Jones as per Manchester City, but you know, it's a positive move from Arne Slot to go Jota, Diaz and Salah.
I just think if he thinks his Jota's fully fit, he plays him. He knows that maybe one opportunity he gets, or that just a little bit of movement instinctive in the box, then perhaps a midfielder won't have that instinct to pick up on something, whereas Jota does. But also as well, John, the work rate is phenomenal from him.
Yeah. Paris Saint-Germain 0, Liverpool 0. 5 live from the BBC, Radio Merseyside as well. And we will have Europa League commentary for you tomorrow night. And don't be caught out, 5:45 kickoffs for all of the British clubs who are involved in European matches tomorrow night. The commentary from Spain, from Sociedad. The referee has blocked the attempted crossfield pass here. So it is it's going to be an uncontested drop ball. So yes, tomorrow night, Conor McNamara and Michael Brown are in place, or at least I hope they're in place, in northern Spain for Real Sociedad against Manchester United. But we'll have all of those matches covered, and obviously that means an early finish to Drive again tomorrow night, as was the case last night. PSG in possession, inside their own half, ball passed forward, but that's all the way through Dembele. And an easy one for Alisson to come across to his right in front of all of that noise that is pouring out of the ultras end behind his goal. All manners and shapes and sizes and colours, well, mainly red, white and blue, of the flags behind that goal. And whistles, because Alisson has just got the ball at his feet. Kvaratskhelia comes close to him. He leans over, dummies as if to pick it up, then doesn't. And eventually Dembele gets close enough to force Alisson to pick it up. We're playing this match at our pace, say Liverpool.
Yeah, they absolutely are as well. They're trying to frustrate the Paris Saint-Germain players, and what was very evident in when I was watching them was Dembele. He wanted to come deep, he really wanted to come into midfield, because they're getting frustrated already, Paris Saint-Germain, that Liverpool are dominating possession, so that's a good sign for Liverpool.
Yeah, heavy touch from Gravenberch there in midfield, that's unlike him, really bounced off him. But then he was doubly fortunate in that he was able to play the ball off Kvaratskhelia, and it's out of play for a throw-in, although that's headed forward by Vitinha, now approaching the edge of the penalty area. The shot is blocked on the edge of the box, it's back to Barcola, then the shot is dragged wide from the edge of the area from Fabian Ruiz, who sees his shot roll wide by 4 or 5 yards. And as I was watching that, you pointed to our little screen down here, and whose face pops up? David Beckham, the former PSG man, in the stands, probably just down in front of us actually, because this is where the posh seats are, aren't they? Just in front of us. Just having a look down there in amongst all of the cashmere to see if I can see his well-coiffured head.
An uncharacteristic mistake from Van Dijk there. Tried to hit a diagonal ball across to Mohamed Salah and just scuffed it into midfield, and it allowed Paris Saint-Germain to break. But now they're just starting to get a little bit of a foothold in the game, Paris. They're trying to slow it down themselves a little bit more. Yes,
there's a woman down there, looks as though she's just stepped off the catwalk. Bright red lipstick, she's looking for her seat. As PSG had the ball inside their own half. I did worry a little earlier at the buffet that I wasn't going to get that big. Did you see that woman in the big purple coat? I couldn't get past her. Long pass from Nuno Mendes, that's over the top, and it bounces all the way through and bounces behind for a goal kick. I can still smell the cheese board as well. It's delicious. Goal kick that Alisson is going to take.
I got told I was working with John Murray tonight, not in Dennis.
I'm not sure Ian's interested in French cheese. Van Dijk to take this goal kick, and we're yet to see the thrills and spills that many were expecting here, because Liverpool are playing their game. Gravenberch forward towards Jota can't get there, and now PSG have got the ball back in the middle of the two central defenders. There has been a first goal of the night in the 8 o'clock kickoffs, and it's in the old German tie, which is being monitored by Maz Farouki.
And it's come for Bayern, and it's come for the England captain Harry Kane. A header, the cross from the right from Michael Elise. 10 minutes played at the Allianz. Bayern Munich won, by Leverkusen 0.
So Harry Kane on the score sheet. Inter won earlier 2-0 in the Netherlands against Arne Slot's old team, Feyenoord. Vitinha, the former Wolves man, now PSG star, just plays the ball to his right to João Neves, the young Portuguese, the 20-year-old who I thought was excellent against Manchester City that night, scored one of the goals back in January. Here's Kvaratskhelia, the wispy, bearded Georgian, playing to Hakimi. Then it comes back to João Neves again, all the way back to Vitinha. And this is the first time we've seen PSG in their stride here, with the ball in possession inside the Liverpool half. Barcola on the left-hand side. Barcola, who warmed up tonight, Stephen, I don't know whether you saw, in a snood that was pulled up right to his nose and a woolly hat that was pulled down right to the tops of his eyes, after what's been a beautiful day here. Barely a cloud in the sky in Paris. PSG still in possession inside their own half. The hair bobbing of Vitinha as he finds a right-footed pass that is miscontrolled by Nuno Mendes. That was an unforced error, out of play for a throw into Liverpool.
Yeah, never really hurt in Liverpool, where they couldn't really find a gap in the Liverpool midfield to penetrate a pass. Trent Alexander-Arnold now again, just slowing the game down, frustrating Paris Saint-Germain, getting the crowd up.
Yeah, it's a very, very obvious approach, this, from Liverpool, to not let PSG get into their dangerous stride here. His throw, Alexander-Arnold, for Diogo Jota, who has a nice little interchange with Salah, then sets off on a run down the right, but the recovering Nuno Mendes is able to put that out of play for a throw-in 10 yards inside the PSG half. Liverpool, of course, the season they're having brimming with confidence, as Gravenberch receives the ball back in his own half, and Liverpool again go backwards, go back to Alisson. Needs a quick touch this time, which it does, with Dembele closing him down. And that pass to Luis Diaz, who had his heels on the white line there. He was under pressure as well from, I think it was Hakimi, wasn't it? And he chested it down. It was Marquinhos who was in front of him, chested it down and did extremely well to keep possession.
Yeah, I think this is a tactic from Liverpool as well, to play to either Van Dijk, Alisson or Konate, draw that press in, allow the forward three players to go 1v1 situations, and they're more than happy because they're quite comfortable at pinning players, both Diaz and Salah, and then obviously Jota's got that ability just to roll players and spin in behind.
And we've seen repeatedly, and I know this has been the case with Arne Slot in certain matches this season, repeatedly those long balls, looking for, they've got the energy and the pace of Diaz and Jota, and of course Salah, and they are testing PSG with that. However, the ball at the back with Pacho, so they give it away, PSG. Luis Diaz now. Luis Diaz, but he's facing his own half, infield towards the Argentine World Cup winner, McAllister, and now crossfield pass. That's dangerous, that's been given away, and now it'll be taken on and given to Kvaratskhelia. His ball across the penalty area is cleared away. That's the first misstep by Liverpool. Careless crossfield pass. They don't need any encouragement, PSG. Vitinha bringing it infield, 25 yards out. Then Hakimi is there, the Moroccan World Cup star. Ball on the right-hand side. Again, Hakimi in the box, angles it across, takes a double deflection, and Liverpool are able to clear it away towards McAllister. And there we saw that in the twinkling of an eye there, one mistake, and PSG were very much in the mood to take advantage.
Yeah, well, it's the second one, John. If you remember, Van Dijk tried to hit one across play before and didn't quite get it right, and it allowed Paris Saint-Germain an opportunity to drive into the Liverpool box, and they can't allow those situations to happen, Liverpool, they'll be mightily frustrated with themselves, but they defended both situations really well.
PSG, again, they're growing into the game, PSG, they're seeing more of the ball. And here's Dembele on this incredible run that he's on. 26 goals this season, but 20 goals in his last 14 matches. Scored in the last 2 as well. PSG won their last Champions League match here, 7-0 against Brest, that second leg. Now here is the ball on the left-hand side for PSG. Barcola stabs it across the box, but Liverpool are able to deal with that. It's played out to Salah, Liverpool's 30-goal man this season. Salah couldn't find the pass forward to Jota. Willian Pacho was in position to intercept that, and Pacho now goes back to his goalkeeper, Donnarumma.
Yeah, just the wrong run from Diogo Jota. He knew if he got the ball in behind, he stood a chance of being in a 1v1 situation with Donnarumma, but Salah was on his weaker right foot, so he just needed to show to feet, retain the ball, just give Liverpool a little bit of possession, because Paris Saint-Germain in the last 5 minutes, 10 minutes maybe, they've just dominated possession. Yeah,
just watching the super fit, super lean Luis Enrique in his long black coat directing operations, and he's just switched things, hasn't he? He's said to Dembele to go out to the right-hand side, Barcola's through the middle, and now Kvaratskhelia is on the left-hand side, but I'm sure he'll change it again. Comes back to Pacho in the centre circle, to his central defensive mate, Marquinhos, and now here is Dembele, who's away from 2 Liverpool men down the right, he's into the penalty area, in comes the cross, and the shot is over the top of the crossbar from João Neves. That was a chance. 12, 13 yards out, and he couldn't keep it down on his left foot. He actually bounced it down into the ground, and it bounced over the crossbar.
Yeah, big opportunity for Paris Saint-Germain, the real first opportunity for either team, and it's brilliant from Dembele down the right-hand side. He just nicks it through the legs of Andrew Robertson, and then as McAllister comes out to try and help out his fullback, he dives in, and then Dembele's away, and it's just then about picking the right pass. It's bobbled ever so slightly into João Neves, who doesn't get the cleanest of connections on it and just goes over the bar. That's the warning sign, John.
Oh, absolutely. That's the Dembele who came on, if you remember, against Manchester City and looked like dynamite. And he is comfortable, isn't he, coming in from the right-hand side, which is what he's doing right now. This is Dembele up against Luis Diaz, goes to the byline, gets the cross into the near post where it's headed behind. PSG have stepped it up here, they've got the first corner.
When he's on his game, Dembele, there's not many better than him. It's just how he feels on the night, but he's got that consistency in his game, as you say, John, over the last few weeks. He's definitely causing a threat out wide, more so than he was in the middle.
Yeah, this is the talent that Barcelona paid 145 million euros for. Here is the outswinging corner, which is headed away by Liverpool. Vitinha takes it down. He's going to try a shot through a crowd of players on the edge of the area. Well wide. Wondered whether it might have taken a flick. He's asking the question, isn't he, Vitinha? But it's a goal kick that is given. Goal kick for Liverpool. Vitinha with the shot. I always mention when I commentate on him, seeing him at Chorley playing for Wolves on loan when he scored from 35 yards.
Oh, yeah.
And he was barely playing for Wolves at the time. Vitinha cracked one in, barely celebrated because he was not best pleased that he wasn't starting more regularly, but that was a glimpse of his talent, and now he is very much at home here, the holding midfielder, but he scored 6 goals this season from that position. Here is Marquinhos. The score, Paris Saint-Germain 0, Liverpool 0, and we've played best part of 20 minutes. Bayern Munich 1-0 up on Leverkusen in Bavaria. Harry Kane, the goal scorer, still Benfica 0, Barcelona 0. That was the 5-4 match in the league phase on a very, very rainy night in Lisbon, but 0-0 tonight so far. Here is Barcola on the left-hand side. Bradley Barcola, little flick from Nuno Mendes, but that doesn't work. Liverpool have got it back.
Switches on.
But Gravenberch goes short, actually, and then forward towards the run of Szoboszlai, who's been quiet in the match so far, and Pacho comfortably gets there first. Willian Pacho, the Ecuadorian international, and just sees the ball back to his goalkeeper.
Yeah, it's really smart from Paris Saint-Germain the way they're playing. Vitinha drops into a back three. They have the wide players tucked in high and almost as number 10s, and then Barcola and Dembele hug the touchlines. So if the ball does break down, they've still got a back three intact, and that was what helped them out there.
Yeah, they're a well-coached team by Luis Enrique, and that's excellent again from Dembele, who's now running direct at the Liverpool event. Shoots goalwards, it's deflected, but deflected wide. The shot in the D on the edge of the area, terrific again, running with the ball at his feet. That's exciting.
Yeah, he's up for it, Dembele. Really good from Virgil van Dijk. He was the player who didn't panic, just shadowed him all the way across, and as Dembele tried to get his shot away with his left foot, just put his left foot out himself, Van Dijk, and comfortably made a block.
And then Dembele as well runs towards where the corner is going to be taken. He's going to take the corner, whipping up the crowd as if you need to do that. But it's a packed 6-yard box. Dembele swings it in. Alisson comes with a stretch, gets a punch on that, which takes it out towards the far side. Fabian Ruiz now square. Vitinha on his right foot lays it to Kvaratskhelia in the box. Left-footed shot from him. It's in! It's in! It's an opening goal from Paris Saint-Germain from the left foot of Kvaratskhelia. A brilliant finish from the former Napoli man, the January signing. Alisson diving, couldn't get near it. And with 20 minutes on the clock, it's Paris Saint-Germain 1, Liverpool 0.
Well, the last 15 minutes, Paris Saint-Germain have been knocking on the door. They've been making life difficult for Liverpool. And Kvaratskhelia, it's a lovely ball into him from Vitinha. He'd had a shot on the edge of the box previously. They thought the shot was coming again. A little disguised pass into Kvaratskhelia, but as he faces up Ryan Gravenberch has to show him down the line. It's the only way you can show him. You cannot allow him to come inside. He allows him to come inside onto that left foot, and he bends it into the far corner. Alisson's at full stretch, but he's got no chance of getting anywhere near it. It just hits the side netting. It's beautifully placed from Kvaratskhelia.
Well, he's a quality player, Kvaratskhelia, the 24-year-old. Oh, hang on. There's a VAR review.
No goal. No goal, it's offside.
It goes out. Where on earth did that come from?
Well, he was in line with Gravenberch, and it was looked at very quickly, but it almost felt like it'd been dismissed straight away. So it was Kvaratskhelia. As he received the ball, Ryan Gravenberch looked like he was the deepest Liverpool player. Must have just strayed ever so slightly offside. Liverpool get away with one.
Well, I have to confess, I didn't spot that on the replay that we saw here. And I mean, the wildest of wild celebrations, and now the bubble's been burst. Well and truly, still 0-0. But here's Barcola into the penalty area. Barcola back to the edge of the box square from Dembele, but Dembele's pass is misplaced, and now Liverpool will break away with Luis Diaz. But then Luis Diaz concedes possession. Fabian Ruiz attempts to slip the ball through, but Van Dijk just glides across and is able to snuff out that attack, and Liverpool clear through Alisson. So here's the correcting fluid, Stephen. That long name, Kvaratskhelia. Takes a lot of correcting fluid to get rid of all of that.
You got enough.
But it's gone now, and it is Paris Saint-Germain 0, Liverpool 0. Two matches in the WSL tonight. 7 o'clock kickoff, West Ham 0, Manchester City 0, and 7:30 Chelsea Leicester. Sohail Sahi.
Half-time, John. Chelsea 1, Leicester 0, with Katerina Makario's 25-yard free kick the decisive moment. Leicester, they've held their own even after a lengthy stoppage for an injury to their midfielder Ruby Mace, who was taken off on a stretcher. We wish her well. Half-time, Chelsea 1, Leicester 0.
Paris Saint-Germain 0, Liverpool 0. McAllister can't get to this. Here is Kvaratskhelia in the box on the right-hand side. Socks down. Oh, challenge goes down. McAllister, he's left flat on his face. Van Dijk, as he runs past, tells him exactly what he thinks of him. And Liverpool bring the ball down the other end. Jota, Luis Diaz. Then back to McAllister. Now Andy Robertson on the left-hand side, the Scotland captain. McAllister's got Kvaratskhelia coming, and then Robertson does well. Couldn't find the pass to Luis Diaz on the edge of the penalty area, and PSG will play it with Barcola and Dembele. And Dembele spots the space. What a lot of space for Kvaratskhelia. Over there on the right-hand side, gets it down, plays it infield. Hakimi's going to have a goal from distance, but he's able, Alisson, to get a clear sight on that. Shot from 25 yards probably in the end from Hakimi, and he just palmed it, parried it down, and dealt with it unfussily.
Yeah, Virgil van Dijk, arms aloft, telling his team to relax, to calm down. He just wants them to take the sting out of this game. It feels very rushed from Liverpool, but very calm from Paris Saint-Germain. Got 2 throw-ins here now. Both Paris Saint-Germain players trying to take a throw-in at the same time.
Yeah, you can't do that. I was mystified initially why the goal had been ruled out, but I know that 2 players can't both take throw-ins with different balls. Paris Saint-Germain 0, Liverpool 0. It's a brilliant finish by Kvaratskhelia on his left foot. A warning as ball is played over the top. This is for Barcola. Konate nudges him in the back. Barcola goes down, and referee Massa says not interested. Play on. Well, there was a nudge with the body of Konate, and Barcola, who was 11 yards out, went sprawling down. You can hear the reaction from the home supporters here. Liverpool attacking with Salah on the right, but then Nuno Mendes puts in a good challenge and is out of play. And now, even in the expensive seats in front of us, people are on their feet with their hands in the air, saying, why was that not a penalty for Barcola?
But it's interesting, John, that none of the Paris Saint-Germain players claimed for a penalty. They all thought it was absolutely fine. It was the reaction of the crowd. But what was it from Konate? Was it a shoulder to shoulder, or was it a real shove in the back? It feels like it was an elbow in the back. Is it enough to give a penalty? Well, it's going to a review. They are looking at it.
Oh,
there's a potential red card check.
Possible red card. That's what we're looking at here. It's on the big screen in the corner of the ground, and so we'll just wait to see whether the video assistant referee, who is Alejandro Di Paolo, the suggestion is that because that initial challenge was outside the penalty area, and if we see here the rectangle being drawn in the air by the Italian referee Davide Massa, and he's called across to come and have a look at this, well, we know very well what the advice is, that it should be a Liverpool red card. So this is an anxious moment. It's been dismissed, and that's added to the anger in the stands from the PSG supporters. What do you think?
It goes in the filing cabinet of I've seen them given, and I'd feel very annoyed if I was a Paris Saint-Germain player. But then there is an element of, is it enough of a shove in the back? Was it more to the side? I need to see it again, John. Yeah. My first thought was, what are you doing? This was by
Konate, Liverpool's Parisian defender, on Barcola. So we've had some contentious moments, and I think, and this is always dangerous, this. PSG and their fans inside this ground have got a growing feeling of injustice, that injustices have in their eyes been done against them, and that, as I say, that can be very dangerous. Ball's played out from the back by PSG. Here's Nuno Mendes, who's been chased by Szoboszlai. He's got the ball back from him but couldn't keep it in, and it's a throw-in.
That's not all gone.
Although that's being doubted by Arne Slot, who was right in front of him, but throw-in is taken back for PSG, back into their own half. What's the latest on Bayern Munich, Bayer Leverkusen? Mas Faruqi.
Still Bayern 1, Leverkusen 0. Good chances at both ends though for Musiala from a corner for Bayern. Koeman's just shaved the outside of the left post with a great strike as well. Before that, Frimpong at the other end, forcing Manuel Neuer very quickly off his line. It was a loose pass from Upamecano that fed him in, but the Bayern captain, the Bayern keeper, was alert. So Bayern 1, Leverkusen 0. 29 minutes played at the Allianz.
Thank you, Maz. As you'll have gathered, Maz is watching that from a distance. PSG 0, Liverpool 0, and still Benfica 0, Barcelona 0. And here is Barcola square, now Kvaratskhelia with a shot, down goes Alisson to make the save to his right, close enough to him, not fully extended, and he parried it away wide of the penalty area. That there's momentum building behind PSG and Kvaratskhelia.
Yeah, really nice strike from Kvaratskhelia, but you just felt like it was a nice height for Alisson. Saw it from a long way out, had a clear sighting of the ball, dealt with it comfortably, pushing it round the post very easily. So it wasn't too much trouble for the Brazilian goalkeeper.
I think that Kvaratskhelia is one of the great young talents. He is still young, 24 years old, part of that Napoli team, that Spalletti Napoli team that won the league. so brilliantly, and also, if you remember, part of that Napoli team that beat Liverpool. Do you remember when Liverpool went there to the San Paolo and were thrashed, really? And that was early on in that season. But here he is now. They've spent a lot of money on him, Kvaratskhelia, and he's showing his skill, dancing into the penalty area, lifting it across the box, and Alisson's able to come rather gratefully, take 3 or 4 steps out of his 6-yard box and just catch the bouncing ball.
Well, he's a player that can beat 2 players individually, so he draws attention, and that's exactly what you want from your winger. And it's about the end product then. He's inventive every time he gets the ball. He's thinking, how can I outsmart people? I've got the movement in my close control, in my swivel of the hips, whatever it might be. Liverpool are now on the break.
Yep, still 0-0, and it's been given away by Gravenberch inside his own half. Barcola skips away from Alexander-Arnold. Barcola, but he turns back to his left. Oh, Dembele, clear chance now! Alisson comes out, makes the save, then saves from Barcola. He plays it square, back to Barcola, shot blocked, back to Barcola, shoots over. Wow, what a spell! How did they not end up with the ball in the Liverpool net?
Well, I'll tell you why, John, because of Alisson, and because he's probably the best goalkeeper in the world in 1v1 situations, and he absolutely had to be. Van Dijk tried to step up, and he didn't realise that Dembele was to his left and free and in space. He just brings it inside on his right foot. He tries to bend it into that bottom corner, but Alisson, he's so quick to narrow the angle, and he saves it with his left foot. Magnificent from Alisson. And then it's about getting numbers back on the line and getting your body on the line. They did that 2 or 3 times, Liverpool. Paris Saint-Germain just panicked and got a little bit excited in the situation, but they should have scored.
Oh, should have scored. Super save, you know, Dembele in the form that he's in, and he did just enough. He came out so quickly, Alisson, there, and blocked it with his outstretched left leg, I think it was. But then Barcola again, and Alisson was able to dive in, make a save, really, there as well. And then I think it was Szoboszlai. Liverpool got 3 men back, and it was Szoboszlai who was the Liverpool player who made the crucial interception, or the block, really. And Liverpool have now taken it down the other end, and they won a corner there first. Still 0-0 if you've just joined us, but my goodness, it's eventful.
It really is, but Liverpool got the corner from a long ball from Virgil van Dijk, something that they were really doing well with in the first 5 or 10 minutes of the game, stretching Paris Saint-Germain's defence.
Szoboszlai to take the corner, which he does, short, then gets it back and he plays it into Dembele, and it's then kept in play by Barcola, and then Szoboszlai puts in the challenge, and then Jota's near the dead ball line. He attempts to cross it, hits Pacho, still Liverpool. Salah with the cross, that's deflected, and big Donnarumma's able to come across and pat the ball down. He's not been involved in the action too much. The PSG goalkeeper, Alisson, much the busier of the two. Crossfield pass by Barcola. This should be dealt with, which it is, on the edge of the penalty area by Alexander-Arnold. Under pressure, but he dealt with it well.
Yeah, under pressure from Hakimi. I mean, they just broke Paris Saint-Germain. Lovely from Donnarumma. He set them on the way. And Barcola, I mean, he is a talent. Wow, what a player he is. The switch of play nonchalantly with his left foot out to Hakimi, but credit to Trent Alexander-Arnold. He just stepped on the afterburners and pulled away from Hakimi. But Liverpool are finding this very, very difficult tonight.
Yeah. Well, I hope you're at least enjoying the atmosphere. This is the genuine sound from inside the stadium on 5 Live tonight and BBC Radio Merseyside. And the ball with the blue shirts, with that big red stripe down the front of Paris Saint-Germain, as Barcola, who I remember in the Newcastle match last season when Newcastle United were here in the Champions League. Remember the chances that he missed in that match, but this season he's stepped it up. Barcola, 17 goals in all competitions for PSG, so he clearly is a threat as well. But Liverpool have withstood it, helped by the VAR offside decision, the UEFA version of the semi-automated offside.
Very quick as well, John.
Yeah, it was. In fact, we didn't even know, did we, until the goal had actually been ruled out. Here is Vitinha playing it back towards the halfway line. And now Barcola again. Barcola moving infield, but he showed too much of that to Gravenberch, who was in on the challenge, and then Salah comes up to help pick up the pieces. Long pass from Alexander-Arnold up to Jota, who's beaten Pacho. Pacho slip. Marquinhos comes across. If Jota can find the pass to Luis Diaz, but then on the right. Salah though is blocked by Nuno Mendes, and Nuno Mendes does a good job there on Salah, and Liverpool, that's their biggest chance so far.
Yeah, slip from Pacho, and it allowed Liverpool to go through, but Jota tries to play the reverse ball into Diaz. Huge credit to Marquinhos. He does superb, doesn't give away too much ground, knows that pass is on, but almost says to Jota, if you're going to go, we're going in a 1v1 situation. You are not playing that ball to my left-hand side. Brilliantly defended by Marquinhos.
Paris Saint-Germain 0, Liverpool 0. It's a Champions League score night tonight. That's available for you. If you can listen to the 5 Live commentary alongside the graphics and the video printer if you go to the iPlayer BBC Sport app, or also via the red button and click on Champions League score. And with it being a Wednesday night, with the Champions League on BBC television this season, all the highlights from these matches this week will be available on the iPlayer after 10 o'clock tonight, or there is, of course, a Champions League match of the day on BBC One tonight after the news for you to watch it all, and lots of highlights here, not least Luis Enrique's very long black coat. We had the spotlight shining up into the sky like Batman, and he's got a touch of Batman about him in that coat. Here's Vitinho playing the ball to the left-hand side, where Barcola takes it down. Barcola, though, has got 2 Liverpool men in front of him, so has to go back to Vitinha, who shuffles forward with the ball, still going from left to right, stabs it back to Marquinhos. Now to the right-hand side, Marquinhos, who scored one of the goals in their latest win, their 10th win in a row, when they dispatched Lille here, another of the French Champions League sides, last weekend, and they were scintillating during the first half. Paris Saint-Germain, they are a real force here. But remember that second leg at Anfield next week, as Kvaratskhelia through the middle this time, but that's cut out by Gravenberch. Good work from him, and then Salah dispossessed by the tackling Barcola, and then Nuno Mendes. Now Kvaratskhelia, who's on the left-hand side, he's got Barcola with him. Kvaratskhelia into the box, beats Gravenberch, shoots low, saved by Alisson. Got down to his right, good parry, strong right arm. I thought for a moment there that it was going to bounce through him, but it was an excellent save again by Alisson.
Well, Kvaratskhelia has just come to life. We were talking about Dembele earlier on in the game, but Kvaratskhelia has had a goal disallowed. He's got 3 Liverpool players around him. He just drifts inside. World-class save from Alisson. Yeah,
corner taken short, played in by Dembele when he got it back, and that was caught by Alisson. But this is special stuff from Kavica Kvaratskhelia, the Georgian international. He is... we've known it for a long time. Oh, and Marquinhos then, that's a blatant block on Luis Diaz bursting forward. And a yellow card for him. Jota it was, just stepped in front of Jota and blocked him with his upper arm, who went down, crashing down to the ground, the little Portuguese. Yellow card, first of the match for Marquinhos.
Yeah, they just can't get a foothold. Liverpool are finding it difficult. Alisson tried to play a long ball. They didn't really get hold of it. It was dealt well with by Hakimi, and then just a misplaced pass, and it allowed Jota to pinch it. It's just bought his team a little bit of time there, Diogo Jota, slow this Paris Saint-Germain team down.
Good time to mention that the players who are 1 yellow card away from a suspension for the second leg, only Fabian Ruiz of PSG, but Konate, McAllister and Robertson, the 3 Liverpool players who are out there, who are on a yellow card, as it were. Free kick though for Liverpool, set piece, 10 yards inside the PSG half, over there on the left-hand side. Here's the delivery, right-footed, goalkeeper Donnarumma comes, it bounces down, and McAllister very nearly got his toe end to that before it bounced up again into his hands.
Yeah, Van Dijk would have been offside anyway, John, had he ever got it. He just went a fraction too early.
A goal in the WSL match between West Ham and Manchester City. Ross Heaton.
And fourth place Manchester City lead 1-0, and it's Bunny Shaw, the division's top scorer, with a close range tap in. 80 minutes gone, West Ham 0, Manchester City 1.
Still Chelsea 0, Leicester 0 in the other match in the WSL. Bayern Munich still winning through that early goal from Harry Kane. 1-0 against Xabi Alonso's Bayer Leverkusen, and Benfica 0, Barcelona 0. In the other half of the draw. This is the toughest half, I think, quite clearly, the half that contains these two teams, Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid, and Arsenal and Aston Villa. The winners of this will probably play Aston Villa in the quarterfinals. Kvaratskhelia now on the left-hand side. Here he is again. He's been the man of the first half. Turns, plays it back to Vitinha, who is closed down, dispossessed by Jota. Jota then works it to Salah, but it was slightly behind Salah, who turns, gives the ball back to Alexander-Arnold. Here's that long pass, looking for Luis Diaz. Donnarumma comes, Donnarumma jumps, gets a hand to it. He just got up there. He was star jumping, wasn't he, Donnarumma? But he's massive, isn't he? 6'6", 6'7". As Fabian Ruiz plays the pass over the top for Dembele. Now Liverpool might be stretched here. Dembele, Barcolas in the middle, right side of the box. Dembele tried to play it across, but Liverpool were back in numbers by then, and actually the offside flag now goes up against Dembele. But the referee waves the advantage, and after that, given away by Luis Diaz, and then Vitinha, and now Fabian Ruiz, Hakimi approaching the area. He goes down, and the free kick is given. Liverpool players this time protesting, but it's a free kick to PSG for that initial challenge on the surging Hakimi.
No, John, they want the offside. They're saying, why haven't you given us the offside? You've got Andrew Robertson running back against Dembele. I mean, there's a possibility you've got to pull a hamstring. It's absolutely ludicrous. But under pressure, Liverpool, because Paris Saint-Germain have then got the set on. Give the offside, let them reset themselves. Yeah. Poor referee.
That's a mistake by the referee, who, with the best intentions, was trying to keep the game going and playing the advantage. But it was he'll regret that. He will regret that. That was the wrong decision. And it's now going to be a free kick to Paris Saint-Germain in a good position. Dembele is just standing to the right of the ball, and Nuno Mendes is actually standing to the right of the ball. Dembele is behind it, and João Neves just comes across and has a word. And Hakimi is there as well. There are a number of possibilities here, and this is right of centre, almost, given the angle, it's between 20 and 25 yards out. Nuno Mendes looks as though he's the most likely taker, which he is, into the Liverpool wall, and then up and wide and behind, bouncing on that blue carpet, which has Paris written on it in big white capital letters, and the distinctive badge of Paris Saint-Germain with the red Eiffel Tower on it. So it's a corner to PSG from the right. Dembele is over there ready to take it. Half-time approaching, 3.5 minutes to the break. Liverpool, I think, will count themselves fortunate still to be level at 0-0 here.
They have to stand tall here, John. They have to be organised.
So here it comes, the corner from the right for Dembele. Out swinger, which is headed down and away by Van Dijk, who took command of the situation. Got there first ahead of anyone else, headed it down and clear, but then back in from Nuno Mendes. Marquinhos still in the box. Liverpool defenders there, and one of them has just stabbed it away. In fact, Van Dijk is saying, where's the offside flag? And finally the whistle comes.
It's so late going up, and it's Van Dijk's got, he's in a challenge, almost claiming for offside, saying, I know he's offside, just give the offside. Again, the referee's very slow to react to it.
0-0. All it lacks is a goal. It's been a super match.
Oh, it's been incredible. It has been frantic, it's been quick, it's been brilliant from Paris Saint-Germain. Liverpool have rode the luck. They'll get in at half-time. There'll be a lot of words spoken by Arne Slot, organisation, how to fix things. We've seen this before this season from Liverpool, where they have been able to correct things in the second half.
A clumsy challenge from Pacho on Jota, who has ended up on the ground, and Liverpool have got a bit of respite here. Free kick. They won't be rushing this, I can tell you that much. Liverpool, number 1 seeds in this new look Champions League after winning the league phase, finishing top. Remember, they won their first 7 matches before changing the team and losing away to PSV. They talk about it in tennis terms, don't they? The way that the draw is now, like the Grand Slam tennis events, but PSG in tennis terms are a dangerous floater. That's what they call them, isn't it?
They absolutely are. I wonder what you were on about then, John.
Well, they are floating dangerously, and they've caused problems for Liverpool. But as I suspected, in fact, I think Jota now has decided that he needs to retie his bootlaces.
He lost his boot.
Yes.
The boot came off, so he's had to refix his boot, and the Paris Saint-Germain fans aren't happy about it. But
so he does need to tie his laces. And then after that's done, he trots away. They've taken it up to almost now beyond 44 minutes on the clock, Liverpool. They'll be very happy to get in. Here's the ball into the penalty area. Jota takes it down, but then the covering challenge comes in from Nuno Mendes to stab it behind just as it bounced off him, 10 yards out, less than that. But Nuno Mendes behind corner.
Yeah, he just needed to stun it completely, but credit to Mendes, he got back. Diogo Jota with the touch. You were wondering whether he could have just side-footed it first time, but it was probably on the edge of the box. Such a difficult skill, but there was pace on the cross as it came into him. Well defended.
Yeah, just needed the touch. Phasers on stun, as they used to say on Star Trek. PSG 0, Liverpool 0. McAllister with the corner from the right. The outswinger, which is headed across goal, but it evades Salah at the far post. The glance, he just anticipated it and took 2 steps further. But 2 minutes of added time. Barca, PSG attacking now. It's Vitinha again. Vitinha running centrally, and then the ball is stabbed by João Neves back out to the left-hand side, where Barcola is able to bring it back in. Vitinha is on his right foot, plays the ball. Here's Kvaratskhelia dangerously. He's got space again on the right-hand side, and then he overhits the pass all the way across to the left-hand side. But João Neves is there, and João Neves pulls the ball back centrally to Vitinha. With his back to the goal, turns, and again Kvaratskhelia there with the run of the right flank. Eventually Luis Diaz is back and across, but Kvaratskhelia runs across him into the penalty area, then back out as well. And then Vitinha. Hakimi's going to make himself available over there on the right-hand side. Marquinhos finds him, flick down the right to Dembele. McAllister is across, and he blocks it up and behind, and the ball bounces, loops high into the spectators, many of whom are standing up there, Paris Saint-Germain fans on the far side, and it's out of play for a throw-in near the corner flag on the right. PSG 0, Liverpool 0. Still got a minute of added time at the end of the first half as the ball is played across the Liverpool penalty area, but Van Dijk is able to steer it back out to safety, and Liverpool clear to the halfway line.
It was a big opportunity for Mohamed Salah from the corner. It was Luis Diaz who got himself across the front post, flicked it, and Salah for once just caught on his heels. Very surprising.
Still time for PSG to launch another attack in this first half through to Kvaratskhelia, but Van Dijk is able to get there first, and then Robertson's able to clear it up towards Jota, who's beaten in the air by Marquinhos. PSG back in business again. Fabian Ruiz, the Spaniard, the European champion, ball across. Barcola couldn't get a touch. It bounces out towards this right-hand side where Nuno Mendes will do well to keep it in. He has kept it in, and he's beaten Alexander-Arnold, and he pulls the ball across, and Kvaratskhelia in on the challenge there. There was a defensive challenge on him, I think, from McAllister, and that was crucial. And as a result, Liverpool were able to clear. Yeah,
really good for him. McAllister just took it off the toe of Kvaratskhelia as he looked like he was getting the shot away.
And that's half-time, 0-0. And Liverpool, Arne Slot, will be very relieved to get to the break at 0-0 after they've been posed all sorts of questions and problems by Paris Saint-Germain. And I notice Arne Slot just going to the assistant there with something to say. That's all very amicable, it appears, but he just had a point that he wanted to make to the assistant. But off the players come, 0-0, phew.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the start that Liverpool made, you thought, oh, they fancied the chances here, they started well, and then suddenly they flicked a switch, Paris Saint-Germain, and Dembele came to life, Kvaratskhelia came to life, and then we got the chalking point of Konate. Should he have been sent off? Did Liverpool get away with one? We only saw one replay of it on the screen in front of us, but Liverpool probably a little bit lucky there to find themselves still with 11 men on the pitch, but also very lucky to find themselves at 0-0 going into half-time. Yeah, that challenge from Konate, the sort of nudge in the back on Barcola as he ran through just outside the penalty area, fell into the box. The saves from Alisson, absolutely. He has been on top form, and Liverpool needed him to be on top form, but 0-0 somehow at the break here in Paris.
Well, yeah, and as you both alluded to, really, sighs of relief for Liverpool that they've got in goalless at the break, Stephen.
Yeah, they look all over the place at the moment, Liverpool. We talked about Julien Laurent talked about it before the game, the energy that Paris Saint-Germain have in the team, and Liverpool haven't been able to deal with it. The speed in which they've counter-attacked 1v1s individually, we spoke about before the game, that they can beat players at ease, and the two wide players, well, whenever they've had a wide player out there, whether it's Kvaratskhelia, Barcola or Dembele, they've eased past the Liverpool players, which is a real concern for Liverpool. Work to be done at half-time for Arne Slot.
It's got some of the stats in front of me, Stephen. 12 attempts for Paris Saint-Germain, 4 on target, none for Liverpool. 301 passes completed for Paris Saint-Germain, 113 completed by Liverpool. I mean, the other thing, in amongst all those stats, out wide at the moment, the French champions are thrilling, aren't they? With full-backs and wide men.
You know, Mark, I think it comes back to what we were saying before the match, in that I'm not sure Liverpool have had an opponent like this season.
Yeah, I mean, the breathtaking going forward, and I said before the game that when you look at the players on display in full-back positions, they're all forward-thinking players. They just want to go forward and enjoy that side of the game. The challenge is that you've got 4 wide players, 5 if you count the Paris Saint-Germain, with the way they interchange, in the way that they want to play, that can beat players at will. Liverpool players haven't shown it though. Luis Diaz hasn't been great, he's lost the ball far too many times. Salah started the game really well, but then just disappeared out of it. When you look at that forward 3 of Paris Saint-Germain, they have been breathtaking, but Liverpool very, very lucky that they're still 0-0. But Arne Slot's done this before. I spoke about it before the game, I mentioned it just then. He will look to correct things, and Naden was talking before the show about he thinks that Luis Enrique will have the edge on him. Well, we'll soon see in this second half.
And Naden is with us, and we will, won't we, Naden? Because they have flown at Liverpool, of Paris Saint-Germain.
Yeah, they absolutely have. I thought the opening exchanges felt quite equal, quite fair, but then all of a sudden PSG just start to take control of the game, and I think there's a stat that I've seen here which kind of sums it up. When you look at the midfield battle between, say, the likes of Vitinha for PSG and McAllister, Vitinha is the top passer for Paris Saint-Germain with 59 passes, and McAllister has 16. When you think about your engine room having that little influence in terms of being on the ball, then it shows that you're suffering. And I think the fact that it's 0-0, you know, sometimes you want to say defensive, you've been good and so on, but I don't think Liverpool have. I think they're just fortunate that PSG haven't been able to take their chances.
Champions League match of the day, BBC One tonight, 10:40. What's the feeling in the match of the day office on Konate?
I think it felt like it would be a lot for a red card, to be honest. And I think the referee's decision we're kind of okay with. I think we're okay with it. I think it's a little bit heavy-handed, but I think the referee saw it real time and decided that wasn't going to be significant enough to make that sort of big call. I think we're at peace with it, but that's maybe because Rory Smith's here as a Liverpool fan.
Yeah, well, I mean, and he'll be delighted you've just thrown that into the conversation as well. There's not, because Barcelona are down to 10 in their game in Benfica with Kubasi sent off in that game. Now, positionally, his challenge was exactly where Konate made his, wasn't it? Although Kubasi's was a sliding tackle. Yeah,
I think maybe the good thing for Konate was the fact that the referee thought he made like a genuine play on the ball, and perhaps he's just deemed him to be stronger, or rather the video assistant referees decided that as well. And I think we were hearing, because it's like a subjective call, the referee's seen it, he's decided that that's going to be enough, whereas the tackle, essentially that will speak for itself, and Kubasi's going to be devastated, and very much changes that tie as well, doesn't it?
It does. And although Barcelona have then spent the rest of the half trying to get Benfica players sent off, haven't they?
Oh, get used to that.
Thank you very much, Naden. Naden alongside Thomas Hitzelsberger, Roy Smith and Gabby. Champions League match of the day, 10:40 tonight on BBC One. Late goal in the Women's Super League. Ross Heaton.
Yes, West Ham 1, Manchester City 1, and a dramatic stoppage time strike from the Hammersford Manuela Pavey keeps City in 4th place and 1 point behind Arsenal in the table. The visitors led very late on themselves. Bunny Shaw's 12th of the season, a clinical close-range finish with just 10 to play, but they couldn't hang on. It's finished here. West Ham 1, Manchester City 1.
Are Chelsea hanging on? Sahel Sahi.
They are, Mark. They're leading Leicester by 2-1. They took a 2-0 lead through Aggie Beaver-Jones. They sliced open the Leicester defence. It was a cool finish by the young England forward. The 2-0 lead only lasted 4 minutes. Leicester replied. It was a lovely lob from inside the penalty area. 63 minutes played. Chelsea 2, Leicester 1.
Been a busy first 45 minutes for Harry Kane in the all-German Champions League tie, because every time I've looked up at the screen, Mas Fariki, he's not only scored, but he's also appearing to help Michael Oliver referee it.
Yeah, he is, and he's getting involved with some quite forceful challenges on some of the Bayer Leverkusen players, Harry Kane. But that is the difference after the first half at the Allianz. The header from the England captain, Harry Kane, just the one goal in it. He met a lovely cross from the right, whipped in from Elise 9 minutes in. But Bayern, they look like they mean business tonight, and they've looked the more likely team to score since that goal. Chances for Musiala, for Kimmich, one in particular for Kingsley Coman, which just shaved the outside of the left post from distance as well. Leverkusen's best chance fell to Frimpong, but that came from a Bayern mistake as he made the run into the area. But Neuer was alert. Xabi Alonso's looked pretty pensive at times on the touchline so far in this match. There is definitely work for his side to do at half-time at the Allianz. Bayern Munich won by Leverkusen 0.
Just one game in the Scottish Championship tonight. It's the only score that we haven't given you, and that is goalless between Livingston and Wraith, and they are 5 minutes into the second half there. Boxing Rugby Union on the way during the rest of half-time after Bethan Holmes and the news.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
The French president is warning Europe is entering a new era requiring the biggest decisions in decades on defence and security. In a televised address, Emmanuel Macron stressed the threat posed by Russia.
Beyond Ukraine, the threat of Russia is there, and it touches European countries and is touching us. And Russia has made the conflict in Ukraine a world conflict. 15 days ago, I went to defend this in the United States, and I want to believe that Ukraine will be protected, but we must be ready if it's not the case.
Well, Ukraine's President Zelensky says there's been positive movement in cooperation with the US and progress on arranging a new meeting between the two countries. Earlier, the US suspended intelligence sharing with Ukraine on top of the pause in military assistance. Back here, and a child's died after a car hit two children on a sports pitch at Kendal Rugby Club in Cumbria. A man in his 40s has been arrested on suspicion of causing death by dangerous driving. The US is holding talks with Hamas over the hostages held in Gaza. The White House says Israel was consulted before the discussions. There's been a long-standing US policy against direct contact with groups designated terrorist organisations. A PhD student's been convicted of drugging and raping 10 women in London and China between 2019 and 2023. Police say Junhao Zhou may turn out to be one of the most prolific sexual predators the UK's ever seen. And scientists think they've discovered how aspirin can stop cancers spreading. A team at the University of Cambridge found it helps the immune system fight back in animals, but they're warning taking aspirin regularly comes with risks, and they're still trying to work out who's most likely to benefit.
The Six Nations.
What a game! What a finish!
On BBC Sounds.
On Saturday at 2:15 on 5 Sports Extra, Ireland against France.
Looks up, does he touch it down? Referee says yes.
And at 4:45, Scotland versus Wales.
And the Rugby Union Weekly podcast is now daily with all the best insight and analysis from the biggest names in the game.
The Six Nations.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is 5 Live Sport.
The Champions League with Mark Chapman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Somehow it's goalless between Paris Saint-Germain and Liverpool. Second half on the way. Huge world title fight in the boxing on Friday night here on 5 Live. Natasha Jonas against Lauren Price as they look to unify the WBC, IBF and WBA welterweight titles. Let's hear from both fighters.
The upset's coming. That's what it is. The upset's coming. There's a bit of manufactured beef trying to be made, but generally we both respect each other. We both understand that the best woman will just win on the night. We say our stuff in the ring and that's the end. That's ultimately it.
This fight opens different doors, different opportunities for me. I believe in myself and I know how good I am. Rob believes in me and he knows how good I am. But, to an outside world, obviously a name like Jonas, I know what I'm capable of, beating her. Obviously it moves me up the ladder again. I would love to be, chasing that undisputed fight at the end of the year. Obviously, I got a job to do on Friday, but then after that, you know, I want to be involved in big fights. That's why I'm here.
Let's talk to Steve Bunce then. What was it like at the press conferences? I mean, we heard they're trying to manufacture it a bit.
No, it was fairly spiky, because the worst thing that can happen is when people that aren't spiky and don't do kind of junk talk and trash talk and get aggressive suddenly find themselves in a spiky, aggressive and trash talking situation, because it only comes across as real. It was unbelievably spiky, chappers, unbelievably spiky.
And Joe Gallagher has publicly questioned why Natasha Jonas is seen as the underdog. She talked about an upset coming as well. Is that fair?
Yeah, well, it's bizarre because, you know, she's older, she's got the experience, she's been in fights where she's won, fights where she's lost, she's been 10 hard rounds, cut, bruised, dropped, picked herself up, that type of stuff, dusted herself down. Lauren hasn't. As Lauren said, I haven't lost a second of a round as a professional, and, you know, I won an Olympic gold medal in my last amateur contest. I'm too young, I'm too sharp, I'm too fast for you. And Tasha said, but, you know, it's not about speed all the time. It's not about that. I've got the precision and I've got the IQ. And Joe Gallagher was in fine form, chappers, absolutely fine form. Most of it was X-rated, so I can't play you any clips. Sorry about that.
Well, thank you for doing the editorial yourself. Thank you, Steve. Listen to the fight here on 5 Live from 9 o'clock Friday evening. On to the rugby union. Hopefully this isn't X-rated. Steve Borthwick has put Marcus Smith on the bench as one of 3 changes ahead of England's clash with Italy on Sunday. Borthwick's been talking about Smith's reaction to the decision.
Marcus has been absolutely brilliant, and you know, we had a conversation about the role I was asking him to play this week, and he then went out and trained wonderfully well. That's just a sign of the calibre of person, character that Marcus is. I've talked about him being a game changer, and I'm looking forward to seeing him come on the pitch this weekend and break open some part of their defence. And I think everybody will be looking forward to that moment. You look at the back three, you've seen Elliot Daly's ability and experience. He's been terrific. Tommy Freeman on the right, Ollie Slightham's pace on the left. I think it's an exciting group at the start of the game as well.
So that was Steve Borthwick. Let's talk to our rugby union reporter, Sarah Orch. Is this just simply horses for courses?
There is a huge argument for that, Mark. But, you know, Marcus Smith is a headline maker. I have been on the internet this evening. I mean, his name is just every single newspaper's headline that he's gone down to the bench. Such is the subjective nature of what shirt he's playing, what reaction he's going to have when he comes on, how he's going to get this attack firing. I mean, so much pressure has been placed on this one individual. But maybe that's a little bit it. With Marcus Smith, is he a bit of an individual and he's not being part of the team? You know, rugby, you know, it only works with 15 operating, and that might just be a little bit of Marcus's problem at the moment.
But is
and
that
Elliot
more about
Daly
us, though? Is that more about us, though,
yes,
Sarah, in the media?
Could
because
well be.
You know, we're doing this on a football night, but you can get dropped to a bench in football and never see the light of day. Yeah.
If you look at this across sport, anything David Beckham did, it was the headline. It didn't matter what it was. If you look at cricket, when it was Kevin Peterson, it didn't matter what it was. There is that argument with Marcus Smith that we're talking about him because it's clickbait, ultimately. And there's plenty more to talk about in this England squad. You know, Fraser Dingwall getting his start. Henry Slade, who's been dropped for Fraser Dingwall, isn't even in the 23 at all. We're not talking about that enough. Elliot Daly coming in, getting his start. You know, he's arguably earned it alongside Jamie George, who've had wonderful performances off the bench. But there's also the narrative that this is England against Italy, and whether we like it or not, arguably, especially after Italy got thumped last week against France, this is England's easier game of the Six Nations.
Thanks, Sarah. Sarah Orch, our rugby union reporter. England, Italy, live on the BBC Sport website and app on Sunday. Commentary from 3 o'clock. The Six Nations weekend begins. Ireland, France. Plenty of build-up to that during 5 Live Sports on Saturday, and you can listen to it on Sports Extra. So in the Women's Super League earlier, West Ham 1, Manchester City 1. Chelsea lead Leicester 2-1 with 20 minutes to go. Earlier in the Champions League, Feyenoord 0, Inter 2. And as they all come out for the second half in the 3 other ties, Bayern 1, Leverkusen 0, Benfica 0, 10-man Barcelona 0, and goalless in Paris as well. John Murray.
Yes, everyone's had their half-time cheese and we're ready. And off we go in the second half. Paris Saint-Germain 0, Liverpool 0. Somebody almost pulled out all of our wires as they walked past us here. There's not a lot of space up here. He's actually coming for another goal. So if we disappear off the air, that's why. Throw in for Liverpool in their own right-back position. Listeners to BBC Radio Merseyside join us as well here in the Parc des Princes, the atmospheric, the noisy Parc des Princes. No changes at the break. Paris Saint-Germain with Donnarumma in goal, Hakimi, Marquinhos, Pacho and Nuno Mendes. In midfield, Vitinha with João Neves and Fabian Ruiz. Then the exciting, the brilliant Kvaratskhelia, who was the man of the first half, had the ball in the net, ruled out for offside. It was very tight. Kvaratskhelia, Dembele and Barcola, who've been interchanging up front there, dangerous front three, and there are more of them on the bench as well, more threats that could potentially come for Luis Enrique's side, who are in the almost all blue kit with the big red and white stripe down the front. And actually, here's McAllister chasing for the ball that he won't reach, and it's behind for a goal kick. And Liverpool, as they started it, Alisson, the excellent Alisson tonight, Alexander-Arnold, Konate, Van Dijk and Robertson, then Gravenberch, McAllister and Szoboszlai, and then the front line of Salah, Jota and Diaz. So, Stephen Warnock, what about it?
Yeah, he's just altered them ever so slightly as they go forward and go and press. He's bringing Salah alongside Diogo Jota, and Szoboszlai was looking after the right-hand side. But you could just tell there was a higher press early on in that passage of play that just led to a goal kick for Paris Saint-Germain. I think there's an element where you've been too kind to them in the first half. You've allowed them to get on the ball, dominate possession.
PSG with the ball inside their own half. The drums continue to beat in the two tiers to our left as Pacho on the edge of his own box.
What's he doing?
And he's just swung an arm out at McAllister, who was chasing past him.
He's blocked his run off completely and then flung an arm across McAllister. I mean, it's a very odd decision.
Yeah, he'd already passed the ball back to the goalkeeper, so the ball had gone, and referee Davide Massa has, well, turned a blind eye to it.
Yeah, it's a clear obstruction from Pacho.
And he didn't make anything of it,
no,
McAllister.
He didn't, no.
0-0, PSG coming forward, attacking towards the end to our right. That's where the same end where they scored the 4 goals against Manchester City in the second half. As Liverpool with Robertson played out of play, and it's behind for a goal kick to Liverpool, who I get the impression here from the body language that they're going for the same approach as at the start of the first half, and that they just do not want PSG to build up any momentum here.
No, but I think the pressing's completely different, John. I feel like that they're going after them with more intent to go and try and win the ball back. I think in the first half it was quite passive from Liverpool, and that's a word that we don't often use with them.
Not like them, is it?
No, not at all. That's what we haven't said about Liverpool at all. But you've got to credit Paris Saint-Germain. They've been superb when they've had the ball, and that's what happens when you get picked off 2 or 3 times. You suddenly get that feeling, I don't want to go and press, because you get picked off, you feel very isolated.
Well, the most remarkable thing tonight is that it is still goalless. Liverpool, who've scored in all but 3 matches in all competitions this season, and this is their 44th match of the campaign. PSG have scored in every single home match they've played this season until now. Here's Szoboszlai though in the centre circle. Salah gives it to him. Szoboszlai's pass, asking a lot of Luis Diaz. Marquinhos, always the favourite to get there, the big Brazilian, the captain of Brazil, and he was able to do that and just return it to goalkeeper Donnarumma.
Yeah, the ball was never on. It was never the right pass. Diaz was up to full speed, and Marquinhos was just travelling, cruising, and always was in control of that situation.
So Fabian Ruiz now for PSG. Square from him to Dembele, who's got it in a deep lying position. He likes to run at Liverpool, that's what he's doing. Shoots from distance, but rather wildly this time, from 25 yards, probably after taking the ball initially past McAllister, and it was high and wide and behind. Goal kick Liverpool 0-0.
Yeah, he's picking up some very interesting positions, Dembele. He's dropping really deep to get on the ball, but he's allowing João Neves and Fabian Ruiz to run in, become almost strikers and false strikers, and then he picks the ball up and he's quite easily driving past McAllister and Gravenberch. It's far too easy for them.
Still people returning to their seats. I'm surprised. You wouldn't want to miss a moment of this after the action we saw in the first half. Long pass from Van Dijk from inside his own half. That's taken down by Salah coming back into his own half. Then Alexander-Arnold throws a right-footed pass over the top. This is for Jota to run onto, and he also runs into Pacho, who just sort of
Streetwise, John.
Yes.
He's really streetwise. He's only 23, the Ecuadorian, but he is very, very streetwise. I really like him. I think he's superb.
Yeah, good partnership, aren't they? South Americans, Marquinhos and Pacho had to stretch for this. Pacho, who is one of the rare breed. Talk about players with their socks down. He's a central defender with his socks down. Here's Kvaratskhelia, likewise. Kvaratskhelia running. He's beaten one man, Gravenberg, but then the covering challenge was there on the edge of the box from Alexander-Arnold. And Alexander-Arnold now goes for the pass. This is for Jota to chase. He's up against Pacho, and Pacho just shrugs him off, and the ball runs back to Donnarumma.
Yeah, there was only one winner in that situation, and Pacho does really well because he gives Jota just a little bit of a shove as they start the race, and then that just allows him that little bit of freedom to be in control of the situation, allow the ball to run through for Donnarumma.
It's like a League of Nations, isn't it? Down there with the Ecuadorian and Luis Diaz from Colombia and McAllister from Argentina. Here's the Georgian, Kvaratskhelia. Barcola now into the area dangerously, back to the edge of the box, but Hakimi was rather on his heels there. Hakimi, and Liverpool, Konate was able to clear. Still again, ball is played back by Hakimi to João Neves, who looks and finds Nuno Mendes behind him. Then here's a pass again for João Neves, but Alexander-Arnold is able to come across and make sure that the ball takes a final touch off João Neves, who disputes that, but referee Massa says goal kick Liverpool, and it's still 0-0, as it is between Benfica and Barcelona, who are down to 10 men, Barcelona, in that match. And Bayern Munich winning 1-0 against Bayer Leverkusen in the German tie, with Harry Kane the goal scorer, which is his 30th goal of the season, just like Salah, and he has 8 now in the Champions League. Joint top scorer in the Champions League last season, the England captain. Kvaratskhelia then to the left-hand side as PSG attack again, and Barcola dropping a shoulder. Alexander-Arnold up against him, comes back, edge of the area. Kvaratskhelia is challenged, is fouled by the falling Jota, fell into him, onto him, and a free kick to PSG just left of centre.
Yeah, he's just trying to nick the ball off his toe, and he does it so well, Diogo Jota. He's always alive to those situations. He thought Kvaratskhelia didn't know he was there. This is a really dangerous position, but Arne Slot's just out on this technical area at the moment, on the edge of it, and he's been deep in discussion with his staff now. Is he going to make some changes? The 4 substitutes are Liverpool warming up vigorously, but it's about this defensive wall. In the first half they stood strong. Van Dijk got a really big block in, but they're a big wall, Liverpool, with Szoboszlai, Van Dijk and Konate.
It's looking like Nuno Mendes, isn't it? Even though it's left of centre, you'd think it would be more likely to be Kvaratskhelia.
Yeah. Interesting, very interesting to see how he lines up this one, because he'd have to go over the 2 biggest men on the right-hand side of the wall.
It's going to be Kvaratskhelia, becomes, strikes it, and Alisson diving to his left, got something on it. Fingertips, pushes it wide. It's another save by the Brazilian goalkeeper of Liverpool. Another good save.
Magnificent save. He should save it because that's the side he's on. He only has to step across to 1 yard to save it, but it's a big save.
Corner taken to the edge of the area. They've given it away to Liverpool, PSG. And now Jota running downfield, but runs into danger. Hakimi ran across him cleverly. And then Vitinha was able to find Dembele. And the crowd are up because Dembele is running at the Liverpool defence. Plays it infield. João Neves. Now Kvaratskhelia out to the left-hand side. Driven across by Fabian Ruiz. Then headed away on the edge of the box for Liverpool by Andy Robertson. PSG. They're gaining that momentum that Liverpool feared again. 9 minutes played in the second half.
Yeah, you just feel wherever the ball lands, that Paris Saint-Germain are picking up those seconds as they head forward again down the left.
Yeah, Kvaratskhelia again, cutting in from the left-hand side. Barcola in the box, near the edge of the area, back to João Neves. And then Vitinha, more centrally, but he's chipped that over the top. And Dembele, though, makes something out of nothing and wins a corner off Robertson.
Yeah, he can catch pigeons, can't he? They took it quick here.
Taking it quick to Hakimi. Liverpool stretched a little here. Vitinha just outside the box. Back to Dembele. Dembele curls it across. Alisson gets a touch. A good touch. A palm away, which actually palmed it out of the penalty area. But then Luis Diaz loses out to Vitinha. And then Kvaratskhelia, 30 yards out, central literally shoots into the back of the defender. Both Van Dijk and Konate were together, and Dembele cleverly wins another corner off Robertson down here on the right.
Yeah, they almost have to take a knee here like a boxer, Liverpool. They need to get some breath back, they need to get some ground, they need to get on the ball and just take the sting out of this game.
Dembele plays it back again on the edge of the area, another cleverly worked corner, but Liverpool were onto it, closed down Vitinha, and he couldn't get the clean shot in that he wanted. It was blocked back to the halfway line.
Too quick and strong at the moment, Paris Saint-Germain, too good on the ball, tactically outwitting Liverpool.
The Premier League leaders are under severe pressure here, and Kvaratskhelia with another shot from the angle, and Alisson going down to his left as well, because it bounced just before him. As he went down to his left, he had to gather that ball and hold it securely, because João Neves was very close to him, but he did exactly that.
Yeah, great handling from Alisson. All eyes were always on the ball, knew he was under pressure. Really good goalkeeping. He's been Liverpool's best player in the game.
Yeah, starman Alisson, which tells you all you need to know. Still 0-0. The French champions Paris Saint-Germain and the league leaders. Last season, winning it for the 12th time, a record 12th time, this new PSG, formed only in 1970, and now proving to be one of the most dangerous teams in Europe under Luis Enrique. Watching them here, it might be the round of 16, but if PSG are able to find a way past Liverpool on this performance, seeing them here, the way that they beat Manchester City in January, no one would want to play them. We are watching again Hakimi bringing the ball forward. Going to get another update when we can from the Bayern Munich match as Barcola backheels the ball on the edge of the area, but Liverpool are able to bring it forward. Here is Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai stumbles, slips. João Neves thought he was away, but Szoboszlai, even though he was on the ground, managed to hook that back. And Liverpool with Luis Diaz, now McAllister. McAllister has got Jota in front of him, finds him. Jota attacking the penalty area. Square from him, Salah, then back to Szoboszlai. Salah again with a touch. McAllister just outside the box. Then McAllister couldn't thread it through, intercepted by Pacho, who plays it away off the Liverpool man, but it will be kept in play by Alexander-Arnold. A rare Liverpool attack this, which is snuffed out and ended by Nuno Mendes. Although Salah has very nearly won it back, but he just recovered Nuno Mendes. And now Liverpool might be stretched here. There are men committed downfield. They've got to get back. Fabian Ruiz now to Dembele on the edge of the area. Dembele trying to find a position. The shot left-footed is blocked by the head of Konate. Kvaratskhelia again, the danger man. Vitinha through to Kvaratskhelia, works it into the box. Van Dijk comes across and passes it away to Luis Diaz. We spoke before the match, didn't we, when Julien Laurent was here, about how PSG would just be relentless, no let up in their energy, and that's exactly what we're seeing from this mainly young Luis Enrique team.
Yeah, I wasn't sure that they'd be able to do it against Liverpool. I was completely wrong, but here are Liverpool.
They're doing it. Jota to Alexander-Arnold. Now Salah trying to find a position in the box, but huge cheers from the stands because Nuno Mendes, the Portuguese left-back, does his job on Salah, and it comes to absolutely nothing for Liverpool.
Yeah, what a defender he's been tonight, Nuno Mendes. Had Salah in his pocket. Salah hasn't had a look in. He's feared going up against him every single time. Nuno Mendes is winning that battle.
Next time we get a chance, we will get an update on Bayern Munich against Bayer Leverkusen, where Munich are 1-0 up, but it is the action here is so relentless, with PSG in possession inside their own half. João Neves just comes deep, so it goes back to Pacho inside his own half. Then Marquinhos, tall, the black curly hair, captain's armband on, gives the ball to Dembele. Down in front of us, we're high up here on the same side as Luis Enrique and Arne Slot, way down below. And now Kvaratskhelia again, the number 7. Fabian Ruiz, Barcola up against Alexander-Arnold, onto his right foot. Alexander-Arnold goes with him, still inside the area. Alexander-Arnold's been able to get the ball away. He's looking for the foul. He goes down, no free kick given, but Liverpool's still in possession. Gravenberch is able to run away with it, but he's got company as well. Finds the pass to the left-hand side to Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz up against Marquinhos. Then infield to Gravenberch. Gravenberg to the edge of the area, stretch from Jota, he can't get there, and it's all the way through to Donnarumma, who with both hands above his head hurls the ball out to Kvaratskhelia. Kvaratskhelia now as Liverpool backpedal. Alexander-Arnold retreating as Kvaratskhelia turns and just flicks it back into the path of Fabian Ruiz. Now here's Dembele. Eventually it finds its way to Hakimi back into his own half. Fabian Ruiz makes himself available. Fabian Ruiz, the tallest of this Paris Saint-Germain midfield three, just shields it from Jota, goes back to Pacho. He points to Nuno Mendes. What have you spotted?
Yeah, a couple of changes for Liverpool. Looks like Curtis Jones and Darwin Nunez as well. You wonder whether that's Diogo Jota's run his race and whether he might just add another body into that midfield to help out in that area.
It feels like that's shrewd.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you've got to be clever, haven't you? You've got to understand that you need that to happen. Well, here they come again, Paris. Wow.
Again. Nuno Mendes stepping forward from the left-back position. Kvaratskhelia is available on the left-hand side. Takes it to the ball. Oh, Alexander-Arnold with a challenge. Kvaratskhelia goes down. Stephen Warnock immediately wags his finger and says no. And referee Massa agrees.
Absolutely not. Corner. So well defended from Trent Alexander-Arnold. He just gets across, makes sure that he gets a toe to it, puts it out for a corner. He didn't buy what Kvaratskhelia wanted to do. Really good from Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Corner then, this time from the left-hand side. First time they've had one from that flank in the second half. Dembele to take it. Here it is, curling into the near post. Jota did well, actually, under pressure there.
Oh, it's not a corner. Jota won it and headed it off against the Paris Saint-Germain player.
Yeah, João Neves. But it is a corner. It is given as a corner to PSG. Still 0-0. Dembele whips this one in and it had to be blocked at the near post by Szoboszlai. I'm not sure whether Pacho in front of him got a touch on that or not, but he was the man on the post and he did his job.
Oh, that was wicked, and Alisson thanked Szoboszlai because I don't think he was getting there. He fell deep into the goal, Alisson getting nowhere near it.
Latest corner in, flicked at the near post. Fabian Ruiz back to the shot, which is shovelled over on the stretch by Hakimi. It's a goal kick. We've got a chance to bring in Mas Faruqi, who is monitoring that match between Bayern Munich and Bayer Leverkusen.
And it's a second goal for Bayern, John. Musiala bundling in when the Leverkusen keeper couldn't gather a looping high ball from distance. He dropped it. Musiala was there. But the Bayern captain and keeper, Manuel Neuer, just had to have been subbed with what looks like a leg injury, with his side leading now 2-0, 62 minutes played at the Allianz.
And a goal as well in the WSL match between Chelsea and Leicester, Sohail Sahi.
Come from Erin Cuthbert, John. Chelsea 3, Leicester 1. I think Chelsea, the leaders, have got all 3 points. 90 minutes played, Chelsea 3, Leicester 1.
Still Livingston 0, Wraith Rovers 0, by the way, in that match in the Championship. Tomorrow night on 5 Live, an early start. Real Sociedad, Manchester United, 5:45 kickoff. Conor McNamara and Michael Brown are there. They're in northern Spain. They will bring you the commentary and we'll have all of the matches covered involving the British clubs as PSG come forward, headed away by Andy Robertson. Inside the box, there were 5 blue shirts inside the Liverpool penalty area there. That is this PSG team. However, they might be committed downfield now because Liverpool attack with Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai, middle of the half. Here is Salah now. Salah, left-footed ball across the box, comes to nothing. That's happened too often for Liverpool.
Yeah, well, John, they've had 3 or 4 counter-attacks within this half where the last pass would have been better. I know it's if buts and maybes, but that last pass can and should be better. Give them more opportunities. That could be a danger for Paris Saint-Germain.
Jones and Nunez are waiting to come on, and Doué is going to come on as well for PSG, so we're going to have changes for both teams. 0-0, still the score. Fabian Ruiz, square to Hakimi. He had the latest chance, the shot from 20 yards or so, but he was stretching for it, lifted it over the top of the crossbar. PSG again go from right all the way over to the left-hand side. Kvaratskhelia has mainly been there in the second half, up against Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now deep, ball into the penalty area. Barcola gets there first, ahead of Fabian Ruiz. Kvaratskhelia again, weaving his tricks inside the area, but Alexander-Arnold stands up, blocks that, bounces away though. PSG win it back. João Neves, Barcola, back to Kvaratskhelia. Now Vitinha turns, puts his foot on the ball. Tiny little figure down there with his D'Artagnan beard and moustache. Marquinhos, now to Hakimi and the white boots here on the right flank. Luis Diaz, the first line of defence for him. Back it goes to Marquinhos, and then centrally again. 25 minutes to play. It's still 0-0 here in the Parc des Princes, high up in the stands with that concrete roof above our heads. Nuno Mendes back to Kvaratskhelia, and then Fabian Ruiz again on the edge of the box. Stab back towards Nuno Mendes, Vitinha. Out comes the pass towards the right-hand side. Hakimi infield towards Dembele. Excellent footwork away from McAllister, but then goes for the blast across goal that he is saying took a final touch off Robertson. I'm not sure it did, but the corner is given.
I think Robertson was just playing a game. I think he knew that he deflected it, but just tried to commit to asking the referee for that to go his way. He didn't get it.
We're going to see the changes now. It's Barcola being replaced by Doué, and while they do that, more news on the Bayern Munich-Bayer Leverkusen match from Maz Faruqi.
Yeah, Leverkusen down to 10, John. A red card for Nordi Mukiele, a second yellow, and then the red shown by Michael Oliver. So Bayer Leverkusen trailing by 2-0 and down a player now as well.
Liverpool have not made their changes yet, defending the corner as they are. Dembele plays it in, headed away at the near post. Hakimi. So Desiré Doué is on for Bradley Barcola. Nuno Mendes, he's going to try a shot from 25 yards plus. Hits Konate and bounces away. That's one of the big talking points, by the way, whether Konate should have been shown a red card in the first half. Ball's out of play. You'll be able to judge for yourself. The highlights will be available on the BBC iPlayer after 10 o'clock tonight, and there is a Champions League match of the day on BBC One after the news tonight. So the two changes then, Stephen Warnock, Luis Diaz is one of them.
Yeah, and Jota's the other.
And Jota.
Yeah, I just wonder whether he'll flood that midfield or whether he'll actually leave Curtis Jones out on this left-hand side or shift Szoboszlai to the left. But it just feels like they're going to try and make sure that they crowd that midfield out from Liverpool for a Liverpool point of view.
Full time in the WSL, Sohail Sahi.
Chelsea 3, Leicester 1. Chelsea back on the winning trail, but only just. They led by 2 after 51 minutes. Leicester pull one back and then trouble the leaders before the ever lively Aaron Cuthbert seal the victory. Full time, Chelsea 3, Leicester 1.
And earlier it finished West Ham 1, Manchester City 1. Dembele on the right hand side. Dembele up against Curtis Jones. Dembele beats him on the outside, still in the box, then takes on, beats Robertson, plays the ball across the 6-yard box, but Alexander-Arnold was the man there for Liverpool to control and clear away.
Yeah, brilliant defending at the back post by Trent Alexander-Arnold, because so easy to put it into your own goal, but brilliant from Dembele in the wide position. Just a bit of housekeeping, John. Oh no, we'll wait.
Yeah, they will, because Nuno Mendes plays it across. Alisson goes down, gets a hand to it, shovels it away to the edge of the penalty area. Now still Nuno Mendes in the box. His cross is deflected behind off Alexander-Arnold. Another PSG corner.
Yeah, it was just to say that Curtis Jones has come out onto that left-hand side where Diaz was, but the corner's been taken.
Taken short. Kvaratskhelia gets it back, then gives it to Vitinha, and then Hakimi, 30 yards out. Fabian Ruiz into the box. Doué's first ball across the penalty area is straight to the feet of Robertson, who is able to clear for Liverpool. It's still 0-0, 5 Live and BBC Radio Merseyside. Listen as well via BBC Sounds. That's where the Football Daily will be in the morning for all of the fallout and reaction. You can subscribe for free from BBC Sounds. Kvaratskhelia again with the ball back to Dembele. Liverpool withstand it. What an effort they're having to put in defensively. I think it's interesting, you know, Stephen, as PSG take a quick throw here, and now they go into the penalty area once again, but it bounces away, and Alisson is able to clear. It was Doué with that latest run into the box, the newly arrived Doué. Liverpool up to Jones, and then Vitinha, and a stretch from Nunez, and then Vitinha does well, and Fabian Ruiz comes out with the ball and gives it to Hakimi, but Dembele says no, I'm taking over, and then gives it to Hakimi. Dembele now shooting from the angle, but got right underneath that and skied it. That actually landed in amongst the supporters in the lower tier behind the goal to the right, which is an achievement in itself.
Yeah, really poor strike from Dembele, but is that a little bit of sort of worry creeping in for Paris Saint-Germain that they haven't scored a goal? They're snatching at things now, shooting from further out. There's never a shot on from Dembele. The opportunity's not there. What were you going to say before, John?
Hang on. The PSG are on Liverpool here. as they're taking their time over the taking of this goal kick, and Van Dijk's yellow carded.
Yeah, he's just too slow taking the free kick, and as you can hear from the crowd, they're not happy about the situation. They're using that to their advantage.
I can tell you Barcelona are winning 1-0. The 10 men of Barcelona winning in Lisbon. The ball's off the field in front of Arne Slot, and McAllister and Hakimi have got involved in a bit of something. They're staring at one another. It's going to be a throw-in to Liverpool. Rafinha scored the goal, by the way, for Barcelona. So Benfica 0, Barcelona 1, still Bayern Munich 2, Bayer Leverkusen 0. If you weren't listening earlier, Inter won in the early kick-off tonight in the Netherlands, in the Kuip, by 2-0. So sitting pretty for the quarter-finals. Inter, as Dembele now carries the ball downfield. Dembele plays it infield, and then Fabian Ruiz out to the left to Kvaratskhelia. Again, 20 minutes to go. Back to the edge of the box. The shot from Doué flies away over the top of the bar. What I was going to say, Stephen, was I think it's fascinating watching this Liverpool team that have dominated so much this season. Think to the matches against Manchester City this season, when Liverpool have dominated the Premier League champions. But look what PSG are doing to them tonight.
Yeah, but we've seen the quality of Paris Saint-Germain tonight. We're seeing a different side of Liverpool, having to dig deep, but they've shown they've got that ability to do it. They've got that backbone within the team, that desire to get it done. This isn't over though, John. We might see a different side of Liverpool where they win on the counter-attack tonight.
Yeah, and the fascinating thing, of course, is in two-leg football, PSG well aware of the fact that they've got to go to Anfield next week and probably feel that they need to have a lead to take there. Liverpool with Alexander-Arnold inside the PSG half. A bit of relief. Ball played over the top. Nunez trying to stretch. Marquinhos is there. Donnarumma comes out. Ball's still free. The whistle has gone. Donnarumma gets to his feet, angry that I think the whistle didn't go earlier, as
he's gone down again.
Collided in him, and then Donnarumma actually walks off the field and flops down on his back.
He went down, and then he didn't feel like the referee had blown up, and he was rolling round. And then he gets up, has a go at the referee, and then suddenly his legs collapse from underneath him and he starts to feel his face again. I mean, it's a genuine attempt to go from the ball for Darwin Nunez, and he doesn't even touch his face. In fact, he gets his knee into his chest. Yeah, but there's not enough in that. He's got every right to go for the ball.
And so he is down off the field, off the pitch, to the left of the goal as we look at it. So Liverpool are going to take a break here, and the water bottles are handed round. They have been severely tested tonight, Liverpool.
He's doing Liverpool a favour. He's giving them an opportunity to get them a break, and that's probably they don't want that Paris Saint-Germain. That's what their game plan has been all night, is to make sure that that ball is constantly coming in quickly, not allowing Liverpool to reset.
Paris Saint-Germain 0, Liverpool 0, and we get a lull in this great stadium, famous old stadium. As I say, Liverpool European Cup winners here when Alan Kennedy scored that unforgettable goal. That was in the end to our left that he scored that one in against Real Madrid. Laurie Cunningham and Vicente Del Bosque were in that Real Madrid side, who went on to manage them to great success in Spain as well. That was the third Bob Paisley winning European Cup team of Liverpool here in this very stadium, now occupied by Luis Enrique's team. 0-0 the score, just over 15 minutes to go. More correctly, there are almost 20 minutes to play, really. Liverpool supporters over there on the far side in their section, behind the netting on that far side, trying to do their best to urge their team on. They'll have had a fantastic day today in the Parisian sunshine, but it's been a trial, I think, for them watching this tonight. PSG with Hakimi. Here's Doué, the number 14, the 19-year-old, another bright star in the making. The French Olympic player, as he was here in this Olympic city last year when the French football team, the men's football team, received the silver medal. Back to the centre circle it goes for PSG. Marquinhos now, almost now into the last 15 minutes. It's Doué, runs his foot over the ball. Jones in with the challenge. Ball runs behind, but the assistant, I think, has given that as the free kick. Jones just catching Doué, and it's a free kick in the full-back position.
Yeah, he felt like he got something on the ball there, Curtis Jones, but sometimes when you feel that, you've kicked the foot and you think you've got enough contact on the ball. Just seeing a replay of it, no, he doesn't get anything on it at all. It's the correct decision.
So free kick. Dembele and Doué are here together. We are now officially into the last 15 minutes. That will go very, very slowly for Liverpool. Free kick tapped short by Dembele. Doué onto his left foot, shoots low, but Alisson, in the mood that he's in tonight, the form that he's in, is able to just lean forward, down and scoop it up into his chest.
Again, very quick free kick taken by Paris Saint-Germain, getting the ball alive, catching Liverpool out. He gets in a 1v1 situation, Doué, and just little step over, drops onto his left-hand side and gets the shot away, but not enough to test Alisson.
Alisson has to give it quickly out to Alexander-Arnold, then Gravenberch. He's not had his best night tonight, Gravenberch, after in the excellent season that he's having.
Do you know what, John? I think he has, in a way, defensively. I think he's pinched balls off the toes in vital positions in Liverpool's area when Paris Saint-Germain are coming forward. I don't think he's been particularly great on the ball, no. But from a defensive point of view, I think the Liverpool players will thank him tonight.
Yeah, two sides to the game, and tonight is a night where defensively for Liverpool is much more important. Here is Gravenberch. Well,
there's
there
the
we
massive.
are.
Yeah, that's poor.
Yes, I refer the honourable gentleman to the comments I made some moments ago. he passed that ball 10 yards behind Salah, and it bounced straight out of play for a throw-in. Here's Kvaratskhelia, now on the left-hand side.
There's the one that he pinches. So there's the little interception.
Yeah.
That's what he's been brilliant.
There are two sides.
Exactly.
Yeah, of Gravenberch. And now back with Konate. Konate square to Van Dijk. Van Dijk across the back line to Andy Robertson. He's had an extended rest because he didn't play in the Newcastle match. Robertson with Tsimikas playing. Szoboszlai is dispossessed by João Neves. Dembele, important little touch there from McAllister on Dembele just to take it away because it threatened to open up again with PSG in possession on the right-hand side. Hakimi goes infield. Vitinha tees it up. Still Vitinha. Then taken over by Doué. Then the shot from the angle. Surely that was offside. It was from Hakimi, who knew it himself. You could tell from the body language. As it landed at his feet, he just swung a leg at it and shot goalwards.
Liverpool will be happier. Dembele's got a problem. He's just feeling his calf, whether it's cramp. He's just rolled his socks down. He's just been stretching his calves for the last couple of minutes.
Now that's interesting, obviously, in the context of the match tonight. But also, if there's a problem for Dembele for next week in the second leg, it's only next Tuesday. So it's Kvaratskhelia is coming off, and Fabian Ruiz from the midfield, and coming on for PSG, Gonçalo Ramos, the Portuguese striker who scored the fourth goal against Manchester City. So Gonçalo Ramos, the number 9, coming on, and also coming on
Zaire
Emery into the midfield. So another teenager, 18 years old, Zaire Emery into the PSG midfield, and Liverpool also making a change. Wataru Endo is replacing Gravenberch.
Yeah, and Gravenberch wasn't happy there with Arne Slot. Little words spoken between the two. Shake of the head from Gravenberch.
So Wataru Endo, who came in and spoke to us in the media room here last night, the Japanese international, who is getting more game time recently, and Arne Slot has said how important he's been within the squad, a rare starter, but the number 3 coming on as a substitute for the 18th time this season in all competitions. PSG 0, Liverpool 0. Europa League commentary live from Spain tomorrow night, but tonight live from France, just a short distance away from the Eiffel Tower, just along the River Seine, which looked fantastic this morning. They've still got the Olympic rings on the bridge, if not on the Eiffel Tower itself, but in the clear sunshine, morning sunshine, with PSG attacking now, the team with the Eiffel Tower on their badge. The ball in centre field, out to the right-hand side. Hakimi then recovers it again, and is able to play it infield to Zaire Emery, and now out to the left-hand side where Doué is carrying the ball across the air, shooting, and Alisson, full stretch this time. Some saves from him tonight, that's as good as any. Behind, wide of the post for a corner.
Oh, it's a hat-trick of world-class saves. Absolutely stunning from Alisson. I mean, they'll just be wondering what this guy is on, because he is just being sensational tonight. But what he's so good at, Alisson, sorry John, he's taking the corner quickly again.
The corner quickly, deflected at the near post, but Liverpool are able to get it away. Back to you on that in a moment, Stephen. But no, Darwin Núñez now, Endo can't reach that, it's out of play, it bounces against the advertising hoardings.
He does it so well, Alisson. He takes 3 or 4 steps forward and it just narrows the angles off. It makes it harder to put that ball into the far corner. If he stays on his line, he never saves that, and that's what his biggest strength is his bravery, to be able to step forward, close those angles off. Amazing goalkeeping again, absolutely stunning.
That was some save to keep out the shot from Doué on the edge of the box. And PSG, here they come again, still 0-0. This would have to be one of the most unlikely 0-0s of the season, as Hakimi swings it into the near post with Gonzalo Ramos the closest to it, but Alisson was able to safely gather it again. So 0-0, we're into the last 10 minutes now. Was that another update from Bayern Munich, Bayer Leverkusen? I was hearing it is. So, Maz Faruqi, what's the news?
Kane's second goal of the match, John. Bayern's third, this one from the penalty spot. He actually won the penalty himself when trying to attack a Bayern corner in a melee of bodies in the Leverkusen area. VAR asked Michael Oliver to take a look at the pitch side monitor. He then gave the penalty, and Bayern, you feel, have 1 foot in the quarter-finals. 3-0, they lead the 10 men of Leverkusen.
Yeah, big disappointment for Xabi Alonso and the German champions as they are, Leverkusen, losing 3-0 away. So that's 31 for the season for Kane, 9 in the Champions League this season.
I've never seen this before with Arne Slot. He's looking at McAllister saying, you've just pulled out of a challenge there, just wagging his finger at him. He's not happy at all. And then the follow-up to that was Wataru Endo
he didn't pull
emptying Zaire Emery. It was brilliant from the two players.
As PSG come forward again, it's Desiré Doué trying to trick his way into the penalty area, but it's Endo again in there. Well, you know, it's very obvious what Endo has been told to do when he's come onto the field, and he's doing it.
Yeah, he's become a household favourite for Liverpool fans because of that no-nonsense sort of seeing a game out, and he is very physical in the way he plays, and there he is again.
Yes, in that case he was Douéing it, as Szoboszlai loses possession in the central third. Doué will come again, all the way across to the right-hand side to Hakimi. Liverpool have got red shirts back it comes though centrally, and Doué drags it back, and then he's shrugged off the ball by McAllister, who's got the message, I think, from Arne Slot. Hakimi, then back towards the centre circle. How long have we got to go? We have got 6 minutes, well, 6.5 minutes to go of the 90. Vitinha, PSG, who, as I say, have scored in every home match this season. Just one home defeat, by the way, in all competitions. That was when Atletico Madrid came here. Simeone's Atletico Madrid won here this season in the league phase. Vitinha flicking the ball to the right. Marquinhos, PSG unbeaten domestically, so they're on for another clean sweep. But here, trying to force a win, trying to take a lead to Anfield on Tuesday night. Vitinha, 25 yards out, shoots, but Szoboszlai threw himself in front of that and effectively blocked it. And they start again. Nuno Mendes. Back it comes infield towards Vitinha again. Vitinha, little pass to Hakimi. Marquinhos joining the attack. Here is Dembele on the right-hand seems okay, curls the ball all the way into the box, and Alisson goes down. And again, we've seen that on a number of occasions tonight. Alisson going down and shoving the ball away. And Liverpool are for the counter-attack, but the pass was too short. Too short from Salah, looking for the run of Núñez. PSG gobbled it up.
He didn't have to rush it. He did not have to rush it, but such is the way that the game's gone, he obviously felt that was a big opportunity.
Dembele again. Dembele running at Robertson, into the box, deflected across the penalty area. Endo clears only to Hakimi. Hakimi, he gets it back onto his right foot. Dembele, that's through him, and it rolls behind harmlessly from a Liverpool point of view for a goal kick.
Yeah, Darwin Núñez just saying to Mohamed Salah, just take your time. The pass was on. You just had to take another couple of touches and almost draw the defender towards you, and then it would have been an easier pass. Alisson's just trying to slow things down again. The referee's not having it.
Van Dijk has decided to leave this to Alisson, and there's an absolutely clear Liverpool man of the match in this contest. The goalkeeper, that man down there, Alisson, with his black beard and his black gloves, more importantly.
He knew exactly what he was trying to do, though, John. He read the bounce of the ball and he just allowed it to bounce in front of him, and then he got a real strong, almost like a punch onto the ball to push it to safety. Because if he had tried to hold on to that would have been even more difficult for him to do, and he might have just spilt it to a Paris Saint-Germain forward.
Yeah, black palmed gloves, green on the backs. They've been the gloves of the night, as Harvey Elliott is going to be the next Liverpool player to come on, and it's Salah who has had possibly his quietest night of the season.
Yeah, very, very quiet from Mohamed Salah. Been poor. He's being outplayed by Nuno Mendes, who's been too quick, too strong for him. He's disappointed there, Salah, but simply not at the races tonight. That happens.
I'm going to make a prediction though, Stephen.
Go on, John.
He won't be this quiet next Tuesday.
No, he won't.
You'll hear that on 5 Live with us. Don't miss it. It might not look like much of a contest for Aston Villa, and certainly Arsenal, next Wednesday night. And I know Unai Emery would dispute that, former PSG coach that he is. But we'll have those matches as well. Aston Villa's going to be our commentary match next Wednesday night. Here's Alisson now, and we've got 3.5 minutes to go. Darwin Núñez gets it down, edge of the D, tees up Elliott, left foot shot, it's in! Donnarumma got a hand to it! What a smash and grab this is in the Parc des Princes for Liverpool! Harvey Elliott hardly touched the ball since he's arrived onto the pitch to replace Mo Salah. Left foot, pinpoint. Donnarumma couldn't keep it out. The big man's on his knees, but Liverpool are looking to the skies of Paris. PSG 0, Liverpool 1. What a scoreline.
Well, all the plaudits will go to Harvey Elliott, but it's all about Darwin Núñez. It's a long ball up top. He wins the first initial ball. It ricochets just into his path off the back of Marquinhos. And then so often Darwin Núñez makes the wrong decision. You're looking at it, he's on the edge of the box, you're thinking, can you shoot? Can you find that far corner? And he just fakes the shoot, and then he just pushes it nicely into the path of Harvey Elliott, who comes onto it, and he opens his body out, and he just wraps his left foot into the bottom corner, calmly, past the outstretched arm of Donnarumma, who gets a touch onto it, touches it onto the post, but it goes in. And that is, as you say, John, a smash and grab, almost a perfect away performance.
Well, great celebrations for Liverpool in the aftermath of that. What a scoreline. Paris Saint-Germain 0, Liverpool 1.
Well, we said, John, they might show us a different side. And we said also they might just find that one moment where they go through, if they can pick that right pass. Well, they've just found it. And what a big goal that could be in this tie.
Yeah, Harvey Elliott, who's barely played a part this season, although he's now scored in 3 consecutive Champions League matches. Harvey Elliott, the 2 matches at the end of the league phase against Lille, and in that match, that defeat against PSV. I think it's fair to say this is the biggest of the 3. 1-0 Liverpool lead, and right now they're taking a lead to Anfield for the second leg. They'll be huge favourites, and PSG facing the possibility of failing to score here in this stadium for the first time this season. But how that's happened, well, it's Alisson. That's why it's happened.
Yeah, that's the reason, John. You look at that guy in the all-yellow kit and you just think, what a performance. I mean, he is, for me, the best goalkeeper in world football, and he's shown that tonight. What must Mamardashvili be thinking, who signed for Liverpool from Valencia, who is thinking, I want to be Liverpool's number 1, and you see a performance like that?
I have to confess, I'd forgotten about him. that's
incredible.
Here is PSG, Vitinho. To the left-hand side. Now, time running out for Paris Saint-Germain. Luis Enrique standing down there. He must be barely able to believe this. PSG facing their first defeat since November, since they lost to Bayern Munich. Vitinha's ball into the box, comes off the head of a defender but drops into the gloves. The safe as houses gloves of Alisson, who's able to hold on. And now we are 15 seconds away from added time.
Well, Arne Slot will be delighted because all these subs have had an impact within this game. Darwin Núñez wins the header, then sets up the other substitute, Harvey Elliott, who scores. But Curtis Jones has been exceptional since he's come on. He's retained the ball, he's been exceptional on the ball, brave on the ball when under pressure, and that's exactly what Liverpool have needed.
5 minutes have been added on, so 5 minutes for Paris Saint-Germain to try now to get something to take to Anfield next week. Harvey Elliott, the goal scorer. Donnarumma will feel that he should have kept that out, do you think?
Quite possibly. He got a hand on it. Was he set properly? Did he think that Harvey Elliott was going to take that chance as early as he took it?
Got a big hand on it.
Yeah.
Here's Szoboszlai. Liverpool looking for a second one. Surely not. Jones, though, loses possession to Hakimi, but then wins it back. Just exactly what you were saying, Stephen Warnock. Curtis Jones, and then Endo, and back to Konate. That's going to be a big talking point now, Konate, whether he should have been sent off in the first half for the barge, the shove in the back of Barcola. VAR looked at it and decided no. Van Dijk now with a long pass. That is missed by Vitinha, so Curtis Jones has got it. I would say it's corner flag time, Stephen, if I was Liverpool, but no. Back they go to the halfway line.
Now, the energy's come back, John. The legs have come back from Liverpool. They looked tired, they looked leggy at parts in this game. Now there's a real confidence and a swagger.
They certainly had plenty of energy to celebrate that Harvey Elliott goal. There was a great little shot I noticed out of the corner of my eye of Van Dijk going to Alisson, and the two of them celebrating the goal together. They've been, we don't need to understate what Van Dijk has done tonight as well. As Alexander-Arnold now carries the ball forward. Here's Elliott again. Elliott turning into Vitinha. We've got just over 3 minutes of added time to go. Arne Slot claps his hands. Could be another extraordinary night for him in this extraordinary season as the ball's headed back to Alisson.
Superb from Endo. Saw that Trent Alexander-Arnold had been caught downfield. That's what he's been brought on for, is to plug gaps as and when needed. And he saw Trent had gone, wins the header, comfortable header back to his goalkeeper.
Less than 3 minutes of added time to play. PSG 0, Liverpool 1. You've heard it live from Paris, from the Parc des Princes on 5 Live and BBC Radio Merseyside as well. And it is Paris Saint-Germain. Can barely believe this scoreline. The Parisians around us shaking their heads as Vitinha runs into trouble, runs into Liverpool. Jones has got Szoboszlai here. It's not full tilt this as Liverpool bring it forward. Szoboszlai. The long head now, Szoboszlai. Back to Robertson it goes. Van Dijk. And then Endo's there to get a firm touch on it, to send it back to Alisson. Sets himself. What a clean sheet this will be for the Liverpool goalkeeper, if indeed it is to be that. João Neves, though, after that long clearance downfield from Alisson. João Neves, the sturdy little Portuguese there. It's got a little bit of Verratti about him, I think.
He has, absolutely, yeah. You're right.
As Liverpool, PSG move it over to the left-hand side. Doué, then back centrally, and here's a burst into the penalty area, and the shot from the angle, but that's easily dealt with. Dembele into the box on the left-hand side, going for goal from him. The tightest of angles, and the mood that Alisson's in, he wasn't going to be beaten by that.
Yeah, you can hear the cries of Alisson from the Liverpool fans because they realise how important he has been tonight. And now it's just about seeing this game out. It's about game management for Liverpool.
Alisson launches this one away downfield, and Hakimi gets it back, and Curtis Jones is able to block it out of play for a throw-in that will be taken by João Neves. We are now in the 5th minute, the final minute of added time, and Liverpool are 60 seconds or thereabouts away from another famous win in the Parc des Princes. Although here's Doué into the area, still going, and Endo is there again as the final line of defence after he'd gone past Alexander-Arnold and Elliott, but he couldn't prevent it going behind for a corner. perhaps a last corner for PSG here.
Yeah, quite possibly. Organisation, Van Dijk bouncing on his toes, but they take it short.
Dembele, it's played back to Nuno Mendes, and then Vitinha. Liverpool trying to get out, and it comes from Nuno Mendes, bounces a long way, and it comes off Gonzalo Ramos. But I think he was possibly even looking the other way. It hit him and just dribbled through to Alisson.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it came off Virgil van Dijk. I think he missed it there, Ramos, and it just came off the thigh of Van Dijk. And you see Van Dijk, he's almost sat on his heels saying, please go through to Alisson. Well, that just shows you it's Liverpool's night.
Davide Massa has got the whistle to his lips. There it is, the final whistle, and Liverpool somehow have won it. They've won the first leg against the French champions. PSG beaten for the first time in any competition since November, and Liverpool's supporters, they are on their feet applauding and cheering, and they're directing their cheers not at the goal scorer Harvey Elliott, who's getting some congratulations out there on the pitch. They're directing it towards Alisson, the brilliant Alisson, who's had, even by his standards, one of his nights of his Liverpool career. Clean sheet, 1-0 winners Liverpool.
A quite phenomenal game. I mean, it just had everything in it. So many talking points. But we saw a different side to Liverpool tonight. You alluded to it in commentary, John. They haven't had this type of challenge before. We wondered how they'd go up against that challenge. Well, they needed the goalkeeper in the best form of his life, and he absolutely was. But then they got that one opportunity, Liverpool, that they completed the right pass. They found the right pass at the end of the move, and the substitute Harvey Elliott puts the game to bed. And it's just an incredible result when you thought that they could have been 2 or 3 down, Liverpool. A magnificent night for them.
That early goal that was ruled out for offside, Kvaratskhelia, the saves from Alisson though throughout the course of the match. PSG players are going around thanking their supporters. It's been a memorable night, this. The atmosphere inside this stadium, honestly, for nights like this, it is something else. Manchester City well beaten here. Liverpool might have been well beaten, but as we say, Alisson stood strong, stood firm, and every Liverpool player is going to their goalkeeper and giving him a hug, a pat on the back, a ruffle of the hair, whatever it is. He's had a great night. Harvey Elliott's goal, 87th minute, wins it, the substitute. Paris Saint-Germain 0, Liverpool 1, and they'll have a lead at Anfield when the second leg begins next Tuesday.
I don't know what the Portuguese for "you are a pain in the backside" is, or words to that effect, but I think Marquinhos just whispered that to Alisson as they hugged Stephen Warnock.
Incredible. I mean, what a performance. I mean, you need your goalkeeper to be at his very best, and he was. And I'm just looking at the pictures now, looking down on the pitch, and Harvey Elliott's just jumped on Alisson and almost gave him a big hug, and he's got his legs wrapped round him, just embracing each other, thinking, how have we just got away with that? Well, they've got away with it because of Alisson. Just a world-class performance from a goalkeeper.
Do you know, and that was kind of what I was going to follow up with there. You can tell, can't you, with the reactions of players, and just looking at the grin on Alisson's face and the grin on Harvey Elliott's face, and Van Dijk as well. It's not a sort of getting away with it because of the individual great performance of the goalkeeper, but there is that kind of, I'm glad we've got out of here in the shape we're in.
Absolutely. I mean, you buy them type of players for performances like that. That's why he was brought into the football club, because he was recognised as arguably the best goalkeeper in world football, and that's how you win titles. It's how they won the Champions League, because he was so key to the way that they performed. I always go back to that save he made against Napoli towards the end of the game, where they went on to win the Champions League that year. Last minute of the game, he comes out, makes a huge save, and I just think other goalkeepers don't see that. They don't see that danger. He sees things. He's so clever with his positioning. But there is an element where we've just seen Liverpool with a backbone, with a real desire to get through that game, to make sure that they do stand as strong. And what I love about Alisson is he just does his job and gets on with it. He doesn't shout at everyone. He knows how difficult that game was for them.